My name is James F. Osterberg, and you can find me at jamesfosterberg.com, just like that. And I have been working for 50 years to try to tell you that things are not going to pan out the way you want them if you continue as you are. And of course, the reality of that is now more true than ever. As the globe is warming up, our entire world, it's going to change the temperature, it's going to change everything about living on this world, and there will be immigration beyond what you can control. There will be wars for water. There will be all kinds of things because of overpopulation. 9 billion people on the earth means that if you take 1 million people and set them apart, that's only one in every out of 9,000 groups of 1 million each. This is not going to plan out. This is a finite world. You can't just continue to destroy it, as men have done from the beginning. I don't know why they. Well, it's complicated, but they don't act right. And of course, women are not much better. And I have not found that women are, able to make appropriate decisions when they have to either, or take responsibility for them. But they are the future, because we can't have war. And of course, take a look around, your leaders are wanting war because they have to distract their people from the cost and consequences of being wrong. So they have war to distract you, and they think everything will be great. We'll just take what we want. We'll take what we want, as men have always done. We'll take what we want. But it's a finite world, and resources are running out, fertilizers are running out. The ways that you've been doing for crops and things is not going to pan out. There's no water for irrigation. There's no water for ethanol. There's no water for humanity if you don't stop. They poison it every day. There's trillions of tons of poison everywhere on this planet. There's all kinds of pollution, and plastic is only just the beginning of it. They say the last time I looked, it was every person in America, or every person on Earth, or some such thing, is responsible for 8 pounds of trash a day. 1 for your own personal garbage, and 7 pounds for industrial waste. What you don't see is a reality as well as what you do see. And every life needs a habitat, every life needs food, every life needs everything you need. And of course, as people spread out upon this earth, they take everything and leave nothing for the lives that are there. So you're making a world extinct. You're poisoning everything on earth, which is the answer of universities in particular, and men. Is poison it all. Just poison, poison, poison. Your health care is either cut it out or poison it. That's basically it. So it's not a thing that we want to continue. It really isn't. And people just want what they want. But you can't have what you want anymore. In other words, your plane rides are greatly responsible for consuming the ozone that is above the earth that protects you from the radiation of the sun. Your plane ride burns oxygen to ignite the fuel. And instead of oxygen, they fly in the ozone layer. So they can burn the ozone to ignite the fuel, which is, basically a little bit of a supercharger for that engine. But the problem is there are millions of flights every day. Millions of flights every year. And the BTUs that they release, every plane ride is at least 1 billion BTUs released. Every single plane ride. And it's been doing it for decades. And so the ozone layer is just about gone. And radiation will replace everything on this earth with what doesn't work anymore, because the radiation of, your skin, you say, well, I'll just go inside and I won't have to deal with it. But your plants and your animals and your things that are outside can't go inside. And, everything is a wreck. You have crops that have increased in yield, but they've increased in yield by removing all the barriers, all the disciplines that are in place to protect plants from invasion of a pandemic disease or any other form of attack. And so now those plants are entirely dependent upon us, and just like with AIDS or so-called COVID, which is a release of both of them are actually released by the universities, which bear no responsibility for it. Are they charged? They're not charged. They just walk away free because you think of them as a cult. You think of them as God. They're not God. They're just stupid. Because if we were not stupid, we would not be facing our own extinction. So they are stupid because they are leaders. Everywhere you go, it is a university in charge. A university diploma is in charge of government, it's in charge of media, it's in charge of education, it's in charge of healthcare. No matter where you go, there's a university diploma creating extortion against you, we are the nobility, we are the kings, we are the superior ones. We have to make the decisions. We are the experts. But their expertise has led to a world that's ready to go extinct. And you can see that with weapons of mass destruction, because, kill 1 billion people, there's still 8 billion more people left to go. Kill 1 billion people, and there's still 8 billion more of us to go. So in other words, weapons of mass destruction are guaranteed to be used. Guaranteed. So we either remove them with world law, or we let them kill us. And that's just the beginning. They're mutilating every form of nature they can find as fast as they possibly can. They have automated techniques now, which they can run it through the factory, mutilate it all. They are a horrible, horrible, horrible thing. Horrible. And of course, that doesn't even include the fact that they're trying to ignite atoms on fire. They say, well, just ignite a little bit and it'll be okay. But it won't, because once you ignite atoms on fire, everything on Earth is fuel. Everything is fuel. You are fuel. And it's a 1,000,000-mile long flame. Take a look at the sun. They're trying to bring that here. 1,000,000-mile long flame by their estimates. And solar flares that have been measured to be almost 12 million miles long. Think about that. Going to bring that here with radiation that'll melt you in a second. Radiation that can't be controlled, that will melt you in a second. They're going to ignite that here. And for 50 years I've said, well, they're trying to do this and do that and the other thing. I've said, this is bad. But nobody wants to listen because, the universities are your God. And they're your God because they gave you what you wanted. And they gave you what you wanted by stealing it from the future. So you have what you bought. Your children are going to die. There's not going to be any resource left for them. And without resource, there's no work and there's no world. It's like living in the desert. There's just not anything there to use. And that means that they're going to war, and when war comes, cannibalism. That's just the facts of the life, because there will be nothing left. Instead of, the more population that don't get destroyed, they cry and moan and feed us, feed us, feed us, or water or whatever, and there will not be anything left to give them. So, your world is a terrible, horrible place that you have made for yourself. You've made your own hell, and it's coming closer and closer every day. You've made your own hell. No options, no rights. It's just war. It's just war. It's just war. That's it. That's all that there will be. Because that's what you chose by following the leaders of universities, God. Well, they're not God. And of course, you can identify them as Satan if you wish. It's a religious term, but it is arrogance, apathy, and pure disrespect for life and earth and everything on it. That would be the primary description of those who are in charge. Trump, of course, is a Neanderthal with a club. He likes to use his club, and he doesn't think further than the club. That's all there is. It's a club. Because the end result is that You can't make the earth what it once was. You can't go back 50 years. You can't. There's twice as many people today as there was 50 years ago. Think about that for a minute. Twice as many people today as there was 10 years ago. This is not going to work. You have to grow up. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. You've had your fun in the sun. You've had your we don't care, we don't care, we don't care. You have to face reality today. Accept the truth that will decide for you instead of what you want. The truth must decide what we can or cannot do, because you have driven the entire earth to extinction. One pandemic. Corn is a good example. You can say, we're great. Genetics are great. We can mutilate it great. But it's going to turn out to be a pandemic. And corn is a grass. And if that pandemic invades the other grasses, which is wheat and oats and grass and the things that livestock eat and everything else that we eat that life is based upon, you're dead. You're dead. And you took the world with you. You're dead. Because you didn't care. You said the university is God, and that's all that matters. And the university, the stupidest minds in the entire universe. I would go that far. The stupidest minds in the entire universe say evolution is your God. I can't even imagine how stupid you have to be to believe that. Stupid. Chaos built you. Look again. Open up your mind. Stupid ass. Stupid. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just belly aching because you don't care. You don't care. You don't care about life or miracles or anything else. You don't care about your children. You don't care about your world. You don't care about your future. You don't care about eternity because you believe like the evolution people at university said. There's no air cloud. There's no air. Oh no. But there is. Because we know that, because there is so much diversity in this world, take a look at it. It's all a miracle, every single thing. Not a blade of grass can they make of their own. Not one blade of grass can you make. None. You can't do it. And you can't make yourself, and you can't make yourself heal yourself. It heals or it doesn't heal. You are insane. You are insane. You don't know anything. And yet you call yourselves, like all men have called themselves throughout history, find one tiny little grain of sand of something and say, we are God. We are the brainiest people who ever lived. But you are the stupidest people who have ever lived. Stupid. But anyway, your world is dying. All the things that you depend upon are dying. Phosphate for fertilizer, that's not going to be around a whole lot longer. You have wars that are trying to erupt into World War, and it will. It will, because your leaders are that way. They are stupid. They're going to do it. And they're going to use weapons of mass destruction, and you will be extinct. There will be nothing left. You're not going to be able to go hide. There's no go out to the woods and think you're going to kill everything out there. Isn't anything left. Damn little. It ain't going to happen. Kill 1 billion people. And there are still 8 billion more to go. And they're putting poisons on top of water, putting poisons under the water, putting poisons above the water, around the water, in the water, everywhere. Poison, poison, and poison. Pollution everywhere. The ocean life is going to be extinct soon. You have done everything you could to make it extinct. How on earth is it not going to be extinct? You've done everything you could. Poison and poison and poison and poison and overfishing and everything else. Killing off every tree. And of course that means that the atmosphere is going to come loose. Why would it not come loose? There's nothing to hold it back. It's going to come loose. Because you chose it. And of course, you know, the no sea ice means that there's a lot of the creatures that are the baseline food for the ocean grows or starts its life under the fresh water. That is the ice on top of the ocean. So you're killing off the food line right from the very beginning of it. You're killing it off for the entire ocean. Everything you are is a wreck. And media, of course, is just your propaganda tool. They tell you to believe, and you believe. How stupid can you be? Answer: too stupid to live. Wake up.